Good morning, guys. How are you? We are here today to talk about Canada. Alright, so let's go to start. This is landmarks and important symbols in Canada. Montreal Botanical Gardens, Niagara Falls, Toronto, Parliament Hill, Notre Dame Cathedral Basilica, and Ouray, Bayville, Hockey. Canada is Cape Town, situated on the southern banks of the Ouray River in the province of Ontario. Ouray is Canada's capital and one of the country's largest cities close to the U.S. border. Ouray is one of the best Canadian cities to live in, being a modern destination with excellent education, institutions, and a high quality of life. It is not by chance that the city attracts many tourists and foreign visitors, many of whom are interested in establishing residence. Canada is history. The first foreign peoples that arrived in Canadian lands were the Vikings, more precisely on the east coast of the country, or Atlantic coast, around the year 1000. However, the beginning of the settlement of the territory that you know today is Canadian happened at much later times. Europeans once arrived in the region at the end of the 15th century, and in the following century, the Canadian colonial were being led by the British during this same period, and French established themselves in the country, forming their own domain. Some of the provinces into which Canadian territory was divided were united, and the process of political independence for Canada began in 1867. Over time, other areas were incorporated into this territory and declared their independence from Great Britain in 1982. Canada enacted the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, a framework for sovereignty for the country. Official language of Canada. If you go to Toronto or Vancouver, you won't find people speaking English. If you go to Quebec or Montreal, for example, most people speak French. That's because Quebec and Montreal are located in the province of Quebec. In the province, the most spoken language is French, with about 80% of its residents having the language as their first language, but don't be scared as the population is very friendly, and the establishments are signposted in English and French. Besides that, most people understand English perfectly. Mount Tremblant in Montreal. In the other province, English is predominant. In Toronto, for example, only English is listened to. Toronto is situated in the province of Ontario, which is Canada's most populous, with about a third of the country's population. In it, English is the first language in Vancouver, for example. The same thing happens located in the province of British Columbia, the third largest in Canada. The first language is English.
Population. The Canada population is 37 millions, with the majority concentrated in the southern areas of the country. The territory of Canada can be considered sparsely populated, with a density of 4 inhabitants by kilometer. Almost 82% of the population lives in urban areas. The most populous city in Canada is Toronto, southwest of the capital, with 6 million inhabitants in its metropolitan area. Ottawa, in turn, has 1 million inhabitants. In addition to Canada born in the country, the population is made of up several groups, such as English, Scottish, French, Irish, German, North Americans, indigenous peoples, populations, and others. The languages English and French are the official language of Canada, being the second spoken mainly in the province of Quebec and by other francophone communications in the east. Canada has one of the highest life experiences in the world, which is 80 years. Foods. There are many popular dishes in Canada, but I will choose some to quote. In first one is poutine, that's consisting in fried potatoes and rennet cheese with saucy beef. Maple syrup is often used as a topping on waffles. For example, consisting of one extracted from the raw sap of trees of genus Acer. Other dish that's very common is beaver tail. That some candy is made on top of the beaver tail, such as banana with Nutella and grated coconut. Butter tarts are very common. That's like the name say, is a tart with butter inside. Well, it's very difficult to define a cuisine as it's a mix of indigenous peoples, culture, and immigration. But one thing for sure is very good. Type of government. Government, federal parliamentary democracy under a constitutional monarch system. Administrative division, provinces and territories. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Queen Elizabeth II.
Canada's national anthem. Canada, therefore, was two anthems that can represent the nation. As the country is bilingual, there are full English or full French versions depending on the region where you are seen. For national and international events, a bilingual version was created by alternating the verses but with the two language. There is also a version in the Inuktitut language, a variant of the Inuit language spoken in the territory of Nunavut in Canada. Found below the Portuguese translations of the hymns of Canada. Official national anthem. The song, entitled "O Canada" English, was composed by musician Calixa Lavelle and was chosen as Canada's official anthem after a vote in the Senate and House of Commons in 1980. The French Canada composer, whatever, was already the had written in 88, which became popular as the country's music long before it was made official. Calixa Lavelle originally composed the anthem for the French language, as it was created in Quebec, and is a province in which the French language is predominant. The original lyrics are by Sir Adolphe Basile Hauteur. Robert Stanley Ware did in 1908 did the translation into English, and so the song come to have two verses. The lyrics of the anthem in English have undergone some changes over the years. Alright, the melody was always remained the same. A joint committee of the Senate and Chamber of Deputies updated the letter in 1968, and then again in 1980, with official approval. More recently, in 28, a bill was passed changing a section of the letter to such gender neutrality. The change refers to the term "yours truly," the South, now replaced by "we all of us." This included all genres in the new version. Religion Canada. Religion Canada encompasses a wide range of groups and beliefs. Christianity is Canada's largest religion, with Catholicism being the largest group. Christians represent 67.3% of the population. In 2011 are followed by non-religious people with 23.9%.
1.8% of the total population. Other religions include Muslims, 3.2%, Hindus, 1.5%, Sikhs, 1.4%, Buddhists, 1.1%, and Jains, 1%. Religious membership rates are steadily decreasing. The preamble to Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms refers to God. The monarch bears the title of Defender of the Faith, and must declare himself a Protestant and secure the Protestant succession to the throne. However, Canada was no official religion, and support for religions pluralism and freedom of religion is an important part of Canada's political culture. Culture of Canada. Canadian culture is formed throughout the influence of the different nationalities that are in the country's territory, especially the English, American, and French. The customs and traditions of indigenous populations in certain areas still predominate. Canada Day is celebrated annually on July 1st to commemorate the beginning of the political independence process in 1867. Many holidays are shared with the United States and celebrated as in the country. The most popular being Halloween and Thanksgiving Day. With gastronomy in mind, poutine is one of the main traditional Canadian dishes. It originates in the province of Quebec and consists of potato chips, curd cheese, and meat sauce that covers the other ingredients.
Canada economy. The Canadian economy is the ninth largest in the world. Data from the International Monetary Fund (IMF) indicate that the country's GDP at current prices is currently $1.76 trillion, most of which refers to the service sector together with industry. The Canadian subsoil is rich in natural resources such as oil and natural gas, iron ore, copper, zinc, uranium, potassium, among others, which give many economic sectors notable industry. The country also stands out in the production of paper and cellulose and in transport equipment. The agricultural sector is geared towards fishing in addition to the production of pork and milk. Despite the small amount of arable land (4.7%), Canada produces corn, barley, wheat, soy, and rapeseed, as well as vegetables for domestic consumption. Canadian climate. Two climatic types are predominant in Canada territory: the temperate, which occurs in the southern lands, and the Arctic and its subclasses, which is distributed throughout the northmost portions. Under the influence of maritime climate and relief, the East and West Coast provinces experience the highest rainfall in the form of rain during autumn and winter. The most extreme weather conditions are still in the north, which, in addition to several winters, register the lowest temperatures in Canada and the highest volumes of precipitation in the form of snow. In certain areas, the soil are permanently frozen. Fun facts about Canada: the largest population of polar bears in the world lives in the Canadian Arctic. The name Canada comes from the Kanata word originating from the Iroquois indigenous people and meaning town or village. The country is home to 20% of world's freshwater reservoirs and 7% of planet's renewable water. Montreal is the second largest city in the world in terms of French speakers. The first is Paris, capital of France. Hockey is the one of main sports played in the country. Canada is the country with the largest number of polar bears in the world.
So that is, guys. See you soon. Have a great day.